Still coming through as well. Gradually we'll start to turn our attention.
Today is Sunday, the 7th of October, and we just raced the Great North Run earlier this morning, and I'm now just on a nice chill evening walk, having to coming back from Newcastle. Really just stretch my legs out because my legs are pretty beat up. But the race today is perhaps the best race of my life. But before we start talking about the race today, let's go back in time. Not to the dinosaur era, but to yesterday, where I did my pre-race routine of just a 10k easy run and a couple strides. So today, just going for a 10k easy jog and do a couple strides afterwards. Kind of my normal pre-race kind of routine the day before the race, just to really prime the legs, ready for tomorrow. But this week, it has also been the start of my teacher training week, and overall I would say it's gone pretty well for the most part. Just it's been more tiring too than other weeks, mainly because it's just getting used to that fixed routine schedule. I can't just run when I want. Body's definitely been feeling a little bit more fatigued this week, on top of the heavy training load from last week. And today's probably about the only day where I feel like, oh, my legs are starting to come around a bit. Yesterday I just felt completely knackered when I went out for my run in the evening. It was, yeah, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I think the fatigue is kind of catching up. So hopefully with an easy day today, with some strides, that fatigue will kind of come out of the legs a bit, and we'll be able to absolutely crush this half marathon tomorrow. So we've arrived in Newcastle, currently in just a walk around Gosforth Park, where the hotel is located, just to really stretch the legs out a little bit after that 3-hour drive up here today. And yeah, so far, well, really enjoying just being out of the city and just enjoying the nice countryside atmosphere. Reminds me just of being at home. But yeah, tomorrow I think is quality field. Headwind is a shame, but it is what it is. Everyone has to deal with it tomorrow. So I think really the target is just see how high I can place up. Top 20, maybe top 10, we'll see what happens. But yeah, not really much more to say than that. I'll catch you tomorrow for the race, and yeah, see you then. So just warming up now, feeling alright, but yeah, have to warm up in the full race kit since the baggage drop, well, just closed about 5 minutes ago for the ladies race. So yeah, it feels weird warming up in super shoes for once, but yeah, I have to put up with it, because yeah, I told my parents, oh, leave at the start, I can give you some stuff, but no, they just wanted to enjoy their time in a pub in South Shields, so I don't blame them really. But yeah, just meant I have to warm up like this, but not too bad. Got another about 5 minutes to jog in and do some strides, and yeah, then we're ready to race.
Big circles with your shoulders all the way round. Come on.
We the thousands on this most unique occasion, as we stand.
So as the gun went off and kind of the pace settled, I kind of found myself in a little bit of a tricky situation, because I was going too fast for the group behind me, but too slow for the group in front of me, essentially leaving me in no man's land, which is a place you never want to be on, especially at a race like today, where there's going to be a headwind for pretty much all the race, for the first 12 miles of the race of a half marathon. And battling out in that headwind by yourself will make things much harder than if you are in a group. But I decided to just stay where I was and work in no man's land, because, well, I felt like I was running at the right effort, and that's exactly where I wanted to be. When it comes to a half marathon, you're running it right around that second lactate threshold, which essentially is that maximum pace you can hold, that steady state of lactate. It's almost like your red line. You go above this line, you're in trouble. You're going to be forced to slow down at some point. Your body will not be able to tolerate the amount of lactic acid that's being produced. But if you go below this line, that's okay, because you still have a little bit more to give. You just don't want to go over this line for too long in a half marathon. That's when the issues arise. So as we can see here, as the race progresses on, I do gradually see that I am gaining on the group in front of me, and I'm kind of make a conscious decision to just try and up the effort, just a fraction of a percent, just to try and catch up over the next coming miles, because I knew as soon as I latch onto that group, it's going to feel immediately easier, because they were running about the same pace as me, so I just needed to make sure I just run a little bit faster than they were, and I think that was the right decision looking back. So it's about 5k into the race where I finally latched on to that group that was in front of me, and stayed in that group for kind of the next couple miles, and just kind of made sure to kind of stay out of the way, and latched onto that group. It made the pace feel immediately easier, and it just allowed me to kind of recover a little bit, because I did have to put in a little bit of effort just to catch up there. But then as we settled into that group for the next coming miles, I then just started to feel like my legs were coming round and my body was feeling strong. I think that might have been the 200 milligram caffeine SIS beta fuel gel really kicking in at that point, which I took about 20 minutes before the start. And if you're not someone who takes caffeine or drinks coffee on a daily basis, boy, can you feel it during race day. I even feel the caffeine now. You might even be able to tell I have a bit more energy on camera this evening. Caffeine is still quite strong in my system, and yeah, I just felt like I was really wired up on caffeine at that point. And yeah, then my legs just started to feel like they had an extra gear. So I kind of kept working in this group for a little bit. I think up to about mile 7, the group was going fairly strong. But then it was at that point where between like miles 5 to 7, I think I was kind of pushing the pace a little bit. I was the one kind of controlling the pace in the group, as it may be. I was working strongly with some of the other guys. So I remember Jonathan Escalante Phillips, my fellow teaching rival, because I know he's a teacher out there, and yeah, he had a great race today. But yeah, it was a great performance by him, and just a great run today. But yeah, about mile 7, this is where that kind of a turning point in the half marathon, where things start to get tough, but you've still got a little bit of a while to go. The headwind was still fairly strong on the course. There were times when it did dial down a little bit, but particularly when you're running on the uphills, for some reason the headwind just hit harder on those uphills, and it made really holding that effort, and particularly holding the pace, just incredibly difficult. So with it being so difficult to hold pace on these uphills into the wind, I just decided, right, we're going to go by effort here, just not look at the watch, because that's all you can do. Racing by effort is, particularly in tough conditions, is the best way to go, because, well, I think for every race actually, racing by effort is the best thing to do, because very rarely do you get ideal conditions. It's like 1 in 100 races. But as the race did progress, mile 7 ticked by mile 8, and I was still feeling strong, was still working with Mr. Escalante Phillips. But at this point, I was kind of being the one kind of dictating the pace. I was the one controlling the pace in the group. And I was feeling strong, and we were starting to catch up on some of the elite guys, some of the sponsored athletes. And yeah, we just ended up catching some of them over the coming miles, until we were still passing people up until even like mile 11, which today was definitely the hardest mile on the course, slightly uphill into the headwind. It was really quite brutal. But I was still feeling strong at this point. I still felt like I could keep going. I was just kind of definitely struggling to push the pace a little bit on the uphill into the headwind. But, we're running faster than those around us, and I think I managed to put a little bit of distance between myself and others. And then as you kind of approach just before the 12-mile mark, you have the most absolutely insane slight downhill before you turn onto the South Shields. I'll call it a long straight. And yeah, I don't think my legs have ever gone that fast in my life. I think I dropped probably 100 meter PB on that downhill on my Strava. I just saw the peak. And it got down to like 340 mile pace, and I'm like, well, I think that's my 200 meter PB right there. So getting a 200 meter PB in the middle of a half marathon, yeah, is always a good thing. But yeah, I mean, I was going so fast, my knees almost buckled because my legs were just struggling to keep up with the pace. But I just kind of focusing on staying relaxed, holding my form. And yeah, that's really all you can do on these really steep downhill segments. And you don't want to just put the brakes on, really lean back and overstride, because that's not great for your knees or your quads. You just want to let your body fall with style.
No! This is the part where we blow up! Not today! This isn't flying, this is falling with style.
And so as the race progressed, turned the corner down that steep downhill, we hit the 12-mile mark, and I knew that at this point we're on for a pretty good negative split here. The first half, I wasn't feeling great, and we did run a little bit slower. The second half of the race, we really picked it up, and we were really running strong. And this is the absolute joyous part of the race. I could feel the tailwind now pushing me along, and I was just like, oh, we're just gonna have to go for it now. There's nothing holding us back. And I could see, I think his name's James Kingston, like about 20-30 meters ahead of me. And I could see he was hurting, and I could definitely was looking to catching him. And so yeah, I just full sent it that last mile, and I don't think I've ever closed a mile as fast as I did today. And we ended up closing the 13th mile at 4:31. That's my second fastest mile I've ran in the past 2 months. I don't know if I even ran that fast on the track for a mile. Actually, I would have done for a 3k PB back in June, but yeah, I haven't really ran that fast since then for a mile. So last week we did run a 4:29 mile in training, so I think that really helped us for the last mile today. And yeah, I just felt strong, and definitely, I was hurting, I was struggling at that point, don't get me wrong, but I felt like if I wasn't to drop a 4:30 mile, I could have definitely kept 4:50 5-minute miles going for another couple more miles, basically until I ran out of fuel, because my body, I think my body's in a really strong place at the moment. So you can just carrying a lot of aerobic strength from the training over the past few weeks and months. As I came down the last 200 meters to go, I saw no other than Jonathan Escalante Phillips storm by me, just over 100 left to go, absolutely sprinting and legging it, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm catching it. My legs are going as fast as they could at that point, and that's really all you can do. You can only give as much as you can give, and yeah, that's all I did in the end. I ran as fast as I could in that last mile. I was really pleased with the fact that we closed so hard, but yeah, I couldn't have closed any harder looking back. My legs were going as fast as they could. So yeah, we ended up finishing the race in a massive new PB. Despite the conditions of 12 miles into a headwind, we finished in a time of 1:04:23, which I think is exactly a minute faster than my PB set last year at the Copenhagen Half Marathon. So in maybe more ideal conditions, or in a fast half marathon race, who knows how fast I can go. Maybe sub 64, maybe on the cards. But yeah, when we did cross the line, we finished in the top 10. We finished in 9th place overall for the about 60,000 runners that were competing at this year's Great North Run. And yeah, we were the 5th Brit home too. So yeah, it was a super stacked field, and really pleased to essentially toeing the line and pushing these guys along. But yeah, I was really happy with today's race. I mean, you can't not be happy with a big PB. So yeah, very pleased with the Great North Run, and yeah, we'll definitely be back in the future. So I think that's really all I have to say about the Great North Run vlog. You know, just stretching the legs out now. Now, of course, I'm sure people would love to hear this, but post-race, what's your go-to meal of choice? Let me know down in the comments below. For me, of course, you've got to go for your classic pub burger and chips. You can't go wrong with that. You've got your carbs and your chips and the bun and your protein in your burger. And it's got plenty of calories to really replace the energy that's lost. And boy, was I knackered after the race. I don't think the 6 mile cool down helped, but I was just enjoying running in South Shields. It's a lovely place. But yeah, no, really did enjoy today and really enjoyed the race. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. Let me know your go-to food of choice after a race. And if you did the Great North Run today, let me know how you did, and race today, you know, or this weekend. You know, let people know down in the comments. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. And I think it's about time we did an update on sort of the training. I saw people may wonder kind of what I got up to run as fast as I did at the Great North Run this weekend. So without further ado, stay tuned for that video, and I will see you in the next one.